Hey everybody, every episode we search all over the internet, we scour all over the internet for stories that are weird, crazy, and out there. I'm your host Kai, and this is Strange But True. So our first story today, if you will, is a bear getting caught breaking into the bakery. And we got video footage, so here is the video footage. So as you can tell, that bear could barely contain himself, and he had to get in that bakery. That was the security camera footage, and it was outside a Tennessee bakery, and they captured the video of the attempted break-in by the hungry bear, probably in search of cinnamon rolls. Olga's Yodel Cinnamon Rolls and Gatlinburg posted this video to social media showing the after-hours visitor that approached the front door of the business earlier this week. So as you saw from the video footage, it shows the bear attempt to pry the door open with its claws before giving up, moving on in search for other snacks. And then they had a public service announcement. Public service announcement: if you are a bear, don't act like this bear. The post said, have proper bear etiquette and don't try to break into my store. If you see this bear in the street, tell him to stop acting foolishly. But yeah, so the bear tried to get into the bakery because he wanted some of those delicious goods, but he wasn't able to get into, that bakery. So tell us in the comment section if you barely ever heard of this story. Okay, I'll stop with the bear puns. Let's go to the next story. So this next story takes place in Florida, which, of course, it's Florida. This Florida woman suspected that there was a break-in, and instead she found two alligators fighting. This Florida woman, she thought an intruder was trying to break into her home, and she decided to investigate what was going on, right? And she found two alligators fighting. Kayla Barres said she was inside her Ave Maria home with her sleeping baby recently when she heard the loud noise on the screen porch, right? And it was getting louder. So she's like, okay, I'm going to go and investigate. And she thought somebody was breaking in because she never thought gators were going to enter her porch. So she looked outside and she discovered the cause of the sound. It wasn't a human intruder, but it was two alligators brawling on her, brawling right there. They were fighting. They had shredded their way through the mesh of the screen door, and she captured video of one of the reptiles biting the other one's tail. She said it definitely looked like they were fighting over territory or something, Barres said. It wasn't like a mating ritual that I had seen because there was blood and it had some hindquarters like in Jaws to the Dwarf. I just think it's funny because she's like, oh, I've seen alligators mate. This is... Oh, that is definitely like Florida, Florida woman definitely, because she's like, oh yeah, I've seen alligators mate. This was definitely, not some, mating thing going on. This was like them fighting. And so she captured the video after a licensed trapper cornering one of the alligators as it's destructively thrashed around her porch, right? The gators were relocated. She said it was scary, and she wanted to warn everybody else in the neighborhood, like watch your kids, watch the dogs, because it was fast and they were powerful. In Florida, the alligator mating season is in April, and these reptiles are known to become more aggressive and territorial during the season, which runs through early September. I just think the part of the story that's funny, it's just like, oh, they weren't mating, because I know how alligators are when they are mating, and they definitely weren't mating. But I guess, they're used to that in Florida. Hey, if you're watching this video in Florida, tell me in the comment section if this is usual, things that Floridians, would it be Floridians? The Floridians know. Tell us in the comment section. So that particular footage was from British Columbia. That mysterious shape floated across the British Columbia sky. British Columbia residents are still trying to solve the mystery of this unidentified shape floating across the night sky over the province. Sightings of this shape are reported ranging from hundreds of miles across central and northern British Columbia between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. local time on Tuesday. And a lot of people think it's something like that, like a UFO, some kind of alien craft, if you will, while others think it might be an unidentified, weather balloon, if you will. Patsy Seymour, who posted that video of the object to social media, said it glowed brightly but appeared too dim as it moved away from her location. Experts, of course, have yet to weigh in to the identity of the shape, but many observers, like I said, theorize it could be a runaway weather balloon. And honestly, it kind of looks more like that. I mean, it's still a strange but true video because, it's unidentified and nobody knows what it is and they think it's, that. But I honestly think it perhaps is a weather balloon. But tell us in the comment section of what you think this particular footage is that was just showed, and whether you think it's a UFO or weather balloon, or you might have some other possible theory. We would love to hear what you think. Okay, so this next story is an athlete pulled 21,737 pound bus with his neck. Yeah, you heard me right. With his neck. And he set the World Guinness Book of Records for it. I'm going to show the footage in a second if I can find it. But a 49-year-old athlete from Aruba earned his 10th Guinness World Record title by pulling a bus distance of more than 65 feet using his neck. Egman Molina used a rope around his neck to pull the 21,737 pound bus on January 9th. In Guinness World now recently confirmed he officially broke the record for the heaviest vehicle pulled by the neck. I'm just curious of how there was even a record for that to begin with. Like, you're saying other people have pulled, buses by their neck or objects by their neck, and they're like, oh yeah, now he's the one that has the heaviest vehicle pulled by the neck. Like, how many people have attempted this is what I want to know. The previous record, here it is. The previous record of 17,769.26 pounds was set by Ukrainian Dmitry Harensky in 2024. With the rope compressing my airway, I must generate force while carefully controlling my breathing under intense strain. It becomes a psychological battle to remain composed while the body is under severe stress, Molina told World Guinness World Records. The strongman's previous Guinness World Record title includes the fastest 20-meter bus pull with one finger, 33.32 seconds, the fastest 20-meter tram pull with teeth, man, this dude's crazy, 39.9 seconds, the fastest hot water bottle burst, 2.87 seconds, and the most Crown Cat bottles open with both hands in 30 seconds, 6 bottles. Molina said his records are dedicated to his children, Nigel, Egman Jr., Benjamin, and Annalena, as well as the youth of Aruba. This dude is just like a World Guinness Book Record, world record breaker. But like the fact that somebody else pulled, buses and vehicles by their neck before this man is insane. Like, how many people go up and do this? I don't think I could. I'd probably end up snapping my neck and I'd be dead, and then there'd be no more strange but true videos. But, that's not the strangest, world record I've heard. Oh, and he also said, my records are tribute to my people and my family's enduring legacy. So we're going to see if we can find the footage, and if so, it'll be right after me rambling. Sorry about the rambling. This is crazy. Look at it. Like, he's like literally pulling the bus by his neck. I like how his shirt, if you look at it, I think it said "Get shit done." Hold on, let me rewind it, or something like that. Yeah, his shirt behind says "Get shit done," and yeah, he's definitely getting shit done. So there was this bear, right? And he was caught napping in the window well of a Colorado home. Colorado Parks and Wildlife officers were called to a falcon home where a black bear settled down for a nap in a basement window well. You know how Goldilocks, like, busted in the bear's house and, like, decided to take a nap? That's all this bear was doing. He was getting revenge for the three bears when Goldilocks broke into their house and decided to take a nap. So this bear is like, you know what? I'm going to get revenge for, those bears, of what Goldilocks did by sleeping in another person's house. So anyways, CPW Southeast Region said on social media that officers were called to the home on a report in a bear in a window well, and they arrived to find the male Brune fast asleep. The officer tranquilized the approximately 250-pound bear to keep it asleep and opened the window to bring him inside the house. They used a leader to carry the bear. They used a litter to carry the bear up the stairs and out of the house to a waiting trailer with the help from the homeowner and a neighbor. The bear was given a drug to reverse the tranquilizer and released in an appropriate bear habitat about 3 miles southwest of Colorado Springs. So yeah, this bear broke into the house, and I'm pretty sure he broke into the house to get revenge and whatnot. Plus, I mean, the more that humans build their houses towards wildlife, they're going to get wildlife on their property. Like, that's humanity's fault, not the bear's fault. That's our fault for living so close to animals' habitats. We can't be surprised when these animals come up in our house. But yeah, so yeah, they got this bear. I'll see if there's footage and show you that footage as well. But it's a very interesting story. So, yeah, here's the footage of the bear in that person's windowsill or whatever called it, the window, whatever thing it was called. But yeah, here it is. I mean, this bear looks harmless. Not that bears are, harmless. You should never mess with a wild bear. But he just looks like he's napping. He's just chilling. He's tired. And now here's the footage of them trying to get the bear, into the house so they can get the bear out of the house or out of the window thing. Obviously, at this point is where they tranquilize the bear to get him to sleep, to prevent any, attacks or the bear getting angry or frustrated or anything. And as you can see, the person, as somebody's in the background recording, it might be the homeowner. I don't know. And now they're carrying the bear up the stairs in order to take it to their vehicles and so they can release it later on out in the wild where it'll be perfectly safe and fine. Again, though, like I said, this is, what happens. The more we build our homes closer to, wildlife, the animals will have nowhere else to go, the more we expand. So this male coyote, for the next story, this male coyote swam 2 miles to Alcatraz Island, twice as far as biologists had expected, right? So a lone coyote stunned biologists and others when it paddled its way to remote Alcatraz Island earlier this year, a former federal prison in San Francisco Bay, surrounded by swift, choppy waters, notorious for thwarting prison escape. At this time, biologists guessed the coyote swam from San Francisco, which is a little over a mile, or 1.6 kilometers from the fortress. But it turns out the male coyote actually made an even longer swim from nearby Angel Island, which is 2 miles or 3.2 kilometers away, right? The person said, our working assumption was that the coyote made the swim from San Francisco because it is extremely significant and shorter distance. We couldn't help being impressed by his accomplishment in making to Alcatraz. National Park Service wildlife ecologist Bill Merkel said in a news release Monday titled, Alcatraz Coyote wasn't a city boy after all. Coyotes are known to be resilient and adaptable, and he certainly disseminated those qualities. Camilla Fox, founder and executive producer of nonprofit Project Coyote, said the coyote likely departed its home base in search for a mate or a new territory to defend. She said coyotes, like wolves, do swim, although it's incredibly rare for humans to spot one doing so. So yeah, this coyote swam all those miles to, get up on Alcatraz Island. I say we just make that a animal reserve. We're not using it as a prison. And that is freaking amazing that coyote swam that far to, just because he's like, you know what, I want to live somewhere else. I don't like where I'm living now. And so that's pretty amazing. They said they've never heard such a story of a coyote making such a long journey in a pretty challenging ocean current. Videos from early January shows the coyote paddling in chilly San Francisco Bay and then struggling to get onto the Rocky Island. It was followed by a January 24th visitor sighting and photographs by Rebecca Hunson, who was in town for her cousin's wedding. He looked like a drowned rat when he ended up on the island. When we saw him, he looked healthy and beautiful, and he looked like he had been eating well. So, yeah, the thing is that's kind of cool that coyote was able to do that. And I say, maybe these biologists and ecologists need to get him some more friends. So that way he's not all by himself on that island. But tell us in the comment section of what you thought of this story. So this next story is about a woman giving birth while going 60 miles an hour in the car. She, delivered her own baby. So this woman gave birth to her daughter at 60 miles per hour as her partner sped through the flooded roads trying to reach a hospital in Cumbria. Chayari Musetti, 28, was just miles away from Furnace General Hospital when baby Sierra popped out as her partner James Spence, 32, rounded about. Throughout the 45-minute journey from their home in Windermere, the couple had to repeatedly stop the car to check if they could make it to the flooded roads. The baby was born at 3:30 a.m. on February 24th, weighing 8 pounds and is doing really well. But yeah, they described the moment she gave birth to her second child in the passenger seat of the couple's BMW 3 Series. They were about 10 minutes away from the hospital when the waters broke, and that's when she knew the baby was coming quick. And about 5 minutes later, her baby started coming out. They were like going 60 miles per hour down the highway, and she just delivers her own baby. She had to sit up in her chair, take the seatbelt off, and pull her leggings down. She just fell out, and I had to catch her in my arms. She added that chaos ensued when Sienna was born 2.5 hours after her contraction started. We've been trying to stay calm through the journey, but when she started coming out, we were screaming. When we got to the hospital, my partner came without his shoes or socks because they had been tested the flood waters. But yeah, she had joked to the midwives that she had done their job for them. She was taken to the hospital on a wheelchair where she delivered the placenta and was kept for 12 hours of observation before being discharged. The baby's doing well. She describes the daughter's birth at 10. But yeah, 60 miles per hour down the highway, and she gave birth to her own baby, while they were going down the highway and did, the midwife stuff. Their couple say that the first child's birth began prematurely while they were attending a wedding in Manchester, so they weren't surprised that their second child's birth also proved eventful. So they already had an eventful birth already. But 60 miles per hour going down the highway, and she just pulls off her leggings and goes bloop. There's the baby. That is an amazing story. But tell us in the comment section if you know any amazing birth stories. We'd love to hear your stories. So remember earlier we were talking about people pulling vehicles with their neck, right? Well, this person is a Burning Man who pulled 2-ton car with his penis. Why? What? How does that get in your head? How do you get the idea that you're you know what I should do? I should set myself on fire, whip out my junk, and pull the vehicle with my junk. This sounds like something that you would have seen on Jackass back in the early 2000s. And needless to say, let's make it clear because I don't want YouTube striking this video. You should not try this, ever, at all. This person, no, just don't do it. So do not try this at home. We are saying here at Bizarre Ones to not ever do this. Ever. So he was on fire while he did this, right? John Stevenson, 50, was set alight before he yanked a French police car, which weighed in at least 2 tons before 40 meters, or 131 feet, along a residential street. Even using your hands, this would be an incredible feat, but the daredevil decided to use his, understandably confused residents looked on as he carried the challenge out on April 30th. Of course they were confused. Oh my God, of course they were confused. Here's this man with his junk, and they're like, Bill, come here. What, Sam? Look at that. That man's pulling the vehicle with his junk. So yeah, he attached a tow rope to his manhood before pulling the vehicle. The location was the place where ITV drama Aki Bridge is filmed. Unsurprisingly, pulling a whopping giant car with your bits hurts quite a bit, according to the dad of 3. Oh my God. He's a father. This man is a father. Oh God. This is horrible. He should not be reproducing. I'm sorry, but I don't think somebody that thinks it's a good idea to set themselves on fire and pull a vehicle with their penis should be reproducing. We're going to the next story. We're going to the next one. Oh my god. Okay, so I know I said we were going to the next story, but I didn't realize when I said that was all the stories that we had planned for this particular Strange But True video. And I know it's been a while since we've done a Strange But True video, but as you can tell on this channel, other than the podcast, we're trying to bring back other videos. Like a little while ago, we had done the paranormal photos, I believe, video. Yeah, we had done a paranormal photos video. We have a Strange People in History video after a long time of not having them coming up very soon. I'm just not sure when. It's either going to be Diamond Ash doing the video or Tanya Kitsune. It might be it might be a Diamond Ash video. I can't remember if it is, but it might be one of the videos because I do know we had the podcast, another podcast episode coming up with Diamond Ash, and we might have one more video with Diamond Ash before she leaves the channel, which will be explained in the podcast episode. You'll just have to watch the podcast episode to realize why. No bad things are happening. She's just moving, but that'll be more explained in the episode of the podcast, which is coming up at the end of this month. Also, though, anyways, thank you for watching this video. Tell us what you thought of any of these strange true stories. We'd love to hear your feedback of what you thought of any of this particular content. And yeah, as you can see, we have a setup that I can actually film the videos at, so that's why there'll be able to be more videos, because we, actually got a setup to where I can record instead of just using my phone like I have in the past for the, videos that, we were doing here and there and every once in a while. And, of course, it's not just me. It's Tanya Kitsune doing them. Of course, like I said, Diamond Ash will be leaving. But anyways, if you want to see more Strange But True content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of future Strange But True videos or any of our other content that we do on this channel. Make sure you check the description bar down below, and there will be the links to the articles, so you can check out the articles yourself. And tell us any strange content that you might want us to react to next. We'd love to react to any of that. So anyways, thank you for watching. I've been your host, Kai, and this has been Strange But True. Anyways, thank you for watching. I've been your host, Kai. Until next time, stay strange.
I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we'll be good to you. Be good to us, and we'll be good to you.